Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to show you three easy beginner Aerosmith riffs. So these, all three of these are kind of like the main riff or the intro riff for, three iconic Aerosmith songs. So if you're a beginner, this is just like some cool riffs that you can learn and have some fun stuff to play. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is Dream On. So we're going to start this off. This is made up of these little triad shapes here. So I'm on the 5th fret of the G string with my 2nd finger, and the 1st fret of the the 4th fret of the high E with my 1st finger, and the 6th fret of the B string with my 3rd finger. And then I'm playing this with my fingers. So what I'm doing here is my thumb is going to play the G string, and then my 1st finger is going to play the B string, and my 2nd finger is going to play the high E. So it's got this. We're going to pluck the E and B strings, and then follow that with the G string. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's pretty much the way it's going to be played throughout the whole thing. So we've got the first chord here. So we do that 1 and 2 and then for 3 and 4 and, we're going to switch to a different chord. So now we're going to put our 3rd finger onto the 5th fret of the G string, our 2nd finger onto the 4th fret of the B string, and our 1st finger onto the 3rd fret of the high E. Same picking pattern. So that's 3 and 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now for this next chord shape, we're just simply going to reverse our 1st and 2nd finger. So our 1st finger will go to the 3rd fret of the B, and our 2nd finger will go to the 4th fret of the E. That's a very dissonant sounding chord. So that one's going to be following. So we got. And then for the next chord, we're going to keep this note here on the G, and we're going to move the 2 notes on the B and the high E down a half step. So you can either try coming down like this, or you can switch to your 4th finger onto the G string 5th fret, and then your 1st finger will be on the 2nd fret of the B, and your 2nd finger will be on the 3rd fret of the high E. So. And then we go back to the first chord again, 1 and 2 and then for 3 and, we're going to put our pinky down onto the 6th fret of the high E, and then we're going to move our pinky up to the 8th fret of the high E. So the whole thing. So next we're going to look at the opening riff for Same Old Song and Dance. So this one, there's not a whole lot to it. It's pretty easy, but it's easy to mess up on it. So when you compared what I play with the tabs, you'll see the places where I make little mistakes sometimes and stuff, because it's just, you'll see when we get into it. So we start off. We're just going to put our 2nd finger onto the 2nd fret of the A string, for like an E5 power chord. And we're going to play the low E first, and then the chord. And then we're going to, with our 2nd finger, go to the 3rd fret of the low E and give just a 1/4 step bend. So this is like 1 and 2 and then we're back here where our 1st finger, we're going to keep it there on the 2nd fret of the A string. And D string open. And then the D and A together. So this is the part where I'm saying that I mess up a lot of sometimes. I'll go to hit just that D string and I'll end up hitting both, or when I go to hit both, I'll just hit one. It's just a minor little difference, but it all still sounds good. So after then you go back to the second fret of the A string. So that's the first measure. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the next measure, the A and D open to the second fret of the A, that little bend again on the third fret of the low E, and then that E5 power chord. So. Then we're going to come all the way up here to the 7th fret on the A string with your first finger, and the 9th fret of the D and G strings by just kind of laying your finger down, and that's an E, and that'll be, so that's like half of the riff. So. And then that's the first two measures, and then the next measure, so we start off the E5 again, a little bend, second fret A, D, A and D together, then the D, second fret of the A string, open A, third fret of the G string, open, then we come to that chord and slide out of it, and the whole thing just starts over again. So that last part there with the, that's actually a triplet. So that last measure is 1 and 2 yellow. Whoops. Alright, and then the last one we're going to look at is the riff or Walk This Way. Extremely, recognizable, probably one of the most recognizable guitar riffs. This one is pretty easy. So we start off with the A string open, and then to the first fret with our first finger, and then to the second fret with our second finger, and then we're going to roll that up to the second fret of the D string. And those are 16th notes. And then we have a rest, and then we do that again, and then follow it with the open low E. So. So that's the first measure. Then the second measure, it starts off the same way. And then we're going to go to the third fret of the low E, and pull that off, and end on the second fret of the D string. So that second measure. So the whole riff slowly. Alright, so there you have it, 3 easy beginner Aerosmith riffs. If you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or any other guitar related stuff. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, anyhow, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.